I want to welcome you all to a celebration of the vernal equinox, the arrival of the sun at 0 degrees Aries, the start of spring, and a time for new beginnings. So my intention today is just to do a short reflection on the vernal equinox, take some time for us to meditate together, and then just to close with a prayer and a blessing. So I really appreciate you all being here in the middle of the day. But at least in my area, this is where the sun is at the highest point in the sky. And that's always a good, positive time to start our vernal equinox, even though it started at 4 o'clock my time this morning. So we're already there. Anyway, here we are in the vernal equinox. And the mystics say that we people, we humans, are Kala Purusha. Kala means time in Sanskrit, and Purusha means spirit. We're spirit traveling through time, but we're also traveling through space. And that's why I like this headline that I saw recently in my news feed. Wait, I'm going to read it to you. Hang on. Okay. The headline was Rotation of Earth plunges entire North American continent into darkness. So think about that for a minute. That was the news. It just happened last night, didn't it? The rotation of Earth plunged the entire North American continent into darkness. That happens every night, doesn't it? It's terrifying. Every night we're plunged into darkness. We call that nighttime. But we're not always aware of how much the movement of our planet, our movement through space affects us. We feel like we're just sitting here. We're just sitting here in, yeah, I think we feel like we're sitting still or basically sitting still, right? But we're actually hurtling through space on our little rocket ship called Earth. We're going thousands and thousands of miles per hour. And but we don't feel that. We're not aware of it. But when we think about astronomy, the movement of the planets, then we think about it. I mean, at least in our minds, we can picture it because we've seen pictures of the Earth and its relationship to the sun, and we can see the Earth and all the planets rotating on that sort of plane, rotating around the sun. And we so we get the idea that we are moving in that way, but in we're also moving in a we're moving with the sun. The sun is not just like this still point in our solar system. The sun also moves. The sun is going in a rotation around the center of the galaxy, the galactic center. So the sun is we can't feel it, but it's happening. It might happen slower than our perception of time or the way that we're moving through time at the amazing speed of 1 second per second. We're moving, we're always moving through time and space. And the galaxy itself is moving around some, if not some center or some point of central galaxy, then it's moving out like the Big Bang explosion. We're moving all the time. And the movement, if you see it in a video of the Earth around the sun and the sun around it's not a loop like this that keeps going the same all the time. It's a spiral. And so we like to think of it as an evolutionary spiral. It's going and going and going, and we're moving and moving and moving, but we don't think about it that much. And so that's why when we get to something like the vernal equinox, we're going like, well, what the heck is that? What's the vernal equinox? And when the vernal equinox takes place, astrologers mark it as the 0 degrees Aries point because we're dividing that um, the space that the Earth circles around the sun. We divide that into our 12 signs. But from our viewpoint on Earth, it's when the sun crosses the celestial equator going in a northerly direction. And at that point, at the point that the sun is at the equator, as we're viewing it from Earth, day and night are of equal length. So we see that as a visible point of balance, day and night being of basically equal length. And then we interpret it. Our philosophical and our metaphysical interpretation is that there is now for us internally, a point of balance. So it becomes a point of balance where we can take a step in a new direction. So this is it. This is the point that we're about to take a step in a new direction. But have you thought about it? What step are you about to take? So, wait a minute. The sun's now in Aries. I went into Aries about 4 o'clock this morning for me, and we're ready to take action. The sun's in Aries, but this meditation that we're doing today is our time to pause, to take a moment of reflection, so that when we combine Kriya Yoga, which is the yoga of wise action, with this astronomical point, we can choose to be creative by infusing the moment with our most wise and balanced intention. So I want you right now to take a moment to think of your highest goal. I like to call it an overarching goal because we have a lot of like daily goals and we have projects and we have all this type of thing. But your overarching goal can be a word, like a keyword, like love or unselfish love or peace or compassion or wisdom or any of those really goodness words that are like that's your real goal, your spiritual goal, if you want to say it that way. So you could say enlightenment, but Kriyananda recommended using a word that really resonates, whatever the word is that resonates with you of your goal. So I want you to think about what that is. I'm just going to close my eyes for a moment and let you have a quiet moment to think about that goal. And now that you've got that goal keyword, and if you don't like it after you leave here, you can change it. It's not like a rule, but you should have one that you think of frequently as your highest goal, the highest spiritual goal. But depending on where you're at, you may also have an everyday type of goal. In other words, like I would call it the important project. So if you want to create an affirmation that includes both, which I don't know if Kriyananda would agree with me. He was really thought there should be like a one-pointedness, and there can be. But sometimes I think that we're balancing our everyday life and spiritual life. So we might also have something called the important project, and then use some words like this, because we're just trying to like arrange our head, to arrange things in our mind so that we can open ourselves up to our highest goal, but also say we've got these other things too. So I'd say pick two, but one is the keyword and then one is your project, your important project, and then say something like this: I am moving toward my important project with love. I'm moving toward my important project with compassion. I'm moving towards my important project with wisdom. I'm moving towards my important project with joy. And so that when you have that, and you can, on your, I would say on your own time, you can write this up any way that you want, but just so that you're thinking that we have this moment, we have this today, the 0 degrees Aries day, when it's a point of new beginning. And I will say that there are a lot of astrological points that could be new beginnings. So we have this point, the equinox, the vernal equinox in spring, the autumnal equinox in September. We have the solstices, which are also a type of balance point. The equinoxes and solstices are like our quarterly new beginnings. And then you also have your solar return, which is your personal new beginning. Like your solar return is let's say your birthday, and that's your new beginning. So that's almost an important new year for you than actual New Year's Eve, if you want to say it that way. And then every month we have a new moon. And I want to say a couple things about these new beginning points. One is don't get scattered. You know how we are as humans. We have, 1 month it's like, oh, I'm going to work on my finances. And the next month it's, oh, I'm going to work on relationships. And oh, I want to work on my career goals. I think you need not to get scattered so that when you're saying what your goal is, don't pick a different goal at each new beginning. This is just a recommendation. You don't have to do this. But my recommendation is don't pick a different goal at each new beginning. It's so much more powerful if you hit every single one of those points with your intention, your highest intention, so that, it's like striking a gong and you hear that, and the gong resonates out and resonates out and resonates out. And then every time you hit it, you're hitting that gong again. I'm moving towards this with love, compassion, wisdom, joy, intention. I'm moving towards this with conscious intention. I want, it's basically like about asking the universe for what you want. And what you want that is that thing. And so it's just my recommendation. Don't get scattered. Don't pick a different goal at each new beginning, especially if you're talking about your highest intention. We always have I don't know about you, I have my big list of things to do, my project list, all these things to do daily, weekly, monthly. Yeah. Whatever your system is, you want to have that highest one and keep repeating that and repeating that. It's a mantra, it's your mantra, and it could be a mantra. But then also, it's important not to get hung up on these new beginning dates because, well, a new moon you only have once a month. Your birthday you only have once a year. It's like our New Year's Eve resolutions where you don't have, where you know, where you're running for a couple of weeks and then all of a sudden you're walking for a couple of weeks and all of a sudden you're sitting for a couple of weeks. Don't that we have many new beginnings. So each day, each dawn when you wake up is a new beginning. And that would be another place to insert your affirmation. And Kriyananda said that every breath is a new beginning. And that's really important to think about too, so that you don't, I guess what I'm saying to myself too is like, hey, you don't have any excuses. If you mess up 1 second, the next breath is your new beginning. You have a new beginning every time. Each new thought is a new beginning. Every breath, every new thought. So I thought that we could spend a little time watching our breath and enjoying our breath and meditating on the breath. So I'm going to teach here the watching the breath meditation. But if you have another meditation that you would prefer to do, please do that. We're just going to take some time. I'm going to talk you through it. And then we'll sit for, 3 or 4 minutes in our quiet meditation. We need some quiet time, okay? But I'm going to talk first. So the watching the breath meditation is just sitting with your back straight and your eyes closed and becoming aware of your breath. You just with your mind, if you need to, say, hey, my breath is breathing in, my breath is breathing out. Whatever you're doing, don't try to control it in any way. Just be the observer of your breath. And that's the meditation. It's very simple, very powerful. Just keep doing it. Watch your breath, and if your mind wanders, just gently pick your mind back up and watch your breath. And gently, gently, gently pull yourself back from your meditation. You can wiggle your fingers and toes a little bit to become more aware of your body. But we're going to slowly and gently go into a prayer that I think is good for this time, for this balance point. And it's called the Metta prayer, the Buddhist prayer of loving compassion. And it has many variations, but I want to share this variation with you. So if you want, you can keep your eyes closed as I read this and just follow along with this prayer. I'm going to read it slowly so that as I say a line, you can repeat it in your mind. Actually, if you're muted, you can say it out loud if you want. So the prayer starts with, may you be free. May you be peaceful. May you be happy. May you awaken to the light of your true nature. May you be free. May I be free. May I be peaceful. May I be happy. May I awaken to the light of my true nature. May I be free. May all beings be free. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be happy. May all beings awaken to the light of their true nature. May all beings be free. And to conclude this meditation, to conclude this balancing ritual, I want to conclude with a blessing that Kriyananda gave us. It's his prayer for us. And I share this prayer with you. May the infinite Lord of life, of love and laughter, bless you at this moment. May each cell of your being and every petal of your mind be touched and be healed and be harmonized. May vim and vigor and vitality be yours. May love and laughter be yours. And may you truly find that which you seek. And may you find that which you seek surely, swiftly, and most harmoniously. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Tat Sat Om. I want to thank you all very much for being here today. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful astrological quarter. Have a wonderful year. May you be blessed all over in every way. Namaste.